Yo, for the DMV to require you to bring in a copy of your third grade spelling bee, proof that you know Morse code, and then make you do R&B group choreography to get your license, they damn sure don't care if you can still drive, right? Like, they don't care to figure out if you still even deserve it. They don't. These people can't drive. I'm out here every single day. I'm here to tell y'all they can't drive. They can't park. They don't know how to read traffic signs. I'll give you a good example, perfect example. We got these signs down here, right? That say keep moving. And it's to let you know that the lane that you about to get into is just a lane. This is a lane. You don't have to merge. You don't have to wait for the oncoming traffic to make a decision. The decision is already made for you. This is a lane. It's two words, keep moving. You know what people do when they get to these signs? They don't keep moving. They don't. Forget about stopping at stop signs. That shit, they take that shit as like it's just a suggestion. This is just some cool shit they think, oh, it'd be nice if you stop, but you don't really have to. That's how they treat it. These people can't drive, dog. Imagine, imagine an NFL player been in the league for 12 years and still being able to rely on the time they ran the 40-yard dash in 12 years ago. Imagine that. It's not the same. You're not that fast anymore. Imagine them still being able to say, "Yo, this was my vertical jump." Yeah, this was a decade ago. Things change. Your knees have changed. Your joints have changed. Life has changed, and it's okay. We just need to update it to see where you are right now. It should be the same with driving. Ain't no way around it. But we back in the building, man. You know, episode 37, All for the Love. I'm Mari. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. I appreciate you for being here. Thanks for pulling up. Let me know how you found the show. You know, I'm always interested in seeing how people are introduced to the content. Like was it a video on YouTube you saw, or did somebody send it to you? Like, just what was it? Let me know. And if you've been here rocking with me since day one, welcome back. Love. We like family. But it's the first episode of 2026. I'm recording this 2 days before my birthday. I'm turning 38. You know what I mean? And I feel good, man. I do. I feel good. I know that people like to make it seem as if like once you hit 30, it's over with. You know what I mean? You get to 35 and up, it's wraps. When you got to get on those websites and put in, the year, you got to scroll to the year and this shit look like you on the Price is Right or something like that. Like, I understand. I take pride in this shit though, because like the goal is to get older. I don't think young people understand that because like young people try to use your age against you, like, oh, you old or you. It's like, yo, that's the goal, right? I'm headed in the right direction, and as long as you embrace that, you good money. But as soon as you start buying into like, oh, yo, y'all this, y'all that, you're done. That's pain. When you start to like try to shy away from your age and trying to, duck all that. Now, the one thing I'm not going for is the unk shit. If I'm not having sex with your aunt, don't call me unc. I got nieces and nephews. Like I'm already taken care of in that department. Don't call me unc unless the circumstances change. You get what I'm saying? But I think more than anything, think about getting older is like, you sit back and you get to reflect on things. You get to, you know, really have like these real conversations with yourself. I mean, if you're doing the work, right? Because, I am daily, hourly, minutely. You know what I mean? Like I'm finding the lesson in everything, And like I mentioned, this is the first episode of 2026. I only did 2 episodes last year. I recorded at the top of the year, and then I recorded like 3rd, 4th quarter of the year, right? And it's not because I didn't want to. It's not because I don't still love it. It's because in the meantime, it just didn't feel like the time was right. You know what I'm saying? Like I would sit down and I would plan something and I'd be like, yo, I want to do this. And it was just like, nah, not yet. Not yet. The same way that like, your favorite artists, right? They take time away from music to go live life, to come back and have a new perspective and have new things to talk about and, you know, new energy, you know? And so like for me, like it's I'm very comfortable with running my own race, right? Because I understand like what my purpose is. And I think until you understand what your purpose is, you're gonna be chasing things that don't really matter, right? And especially in this space right here, right? Where like the content space, the podcast space, whatever, however you wanna call it. It's a lot of people that look around, they see the views that somebody else is getting, or they see the attention and they see how many videos this person is putting out or, whatever. And they get easily discouraged doing their own thing. And it's because they haven't found their purpose. Cause if you knew why you were doing this, you wouldn't trip on the shit that don't matter. You wouldn't trip on the external things. For me, my goal is to continue doing the work that I've been doing because I get messages from people that tell me, yo, you said some real shit right there. I needed to hear that. Or you made me laugh and I was having a terrible day, or just whatever it is, whatever kind of whatever way I can help, whatever way I can be of service. I appreciate the feedback. You know what I mean? I appreciate people telling me how much the show has helped them and things like that. And so like these are the people that I was thinking about when I wasn't recording. Because it's like, yo, I need to get back to it for the people. I mean, for me too, because this is what I love to do. So this year we definitely gonna turn it up. But 2025, I spent a lot of time just learning about just every single little thing. I'm learning, I'm figuring out what the lesson is and everything. You know what I mean? Like I had to wait a little bit longer in line somewhere to get this. What am I supposed to be getting from this right now? You know what I mean? Like, is it patience? Is it that I don't need to come back to this motherfucker again? You know what I mean? Like something like there's something to be learned in everything. It's not just, all right, this thing happened, it happened, that's and it's over with. If you don't find the lesson in everything, even the things that you deem as small, if you don't find the details, you're gonna miss out on a lot of life in between. It's a lesson to be learned in everything. Like I say it all the time. I take inventory of my parenting every single day. Did I need to say that? Did I need to say more? Should I have said less? Should I have said it differently? Same thing with like marriage. It's the same thing. Like, did I need to say that? Could I have been better today? I mean, I think that's a question that we all need to ask ourselves. Could I have been better today? And if so, how? Because you can always do better. It does at some category, somewhere. If you work out, you could have did an extra set. You could have did an extra rep. You know what I mean? If you write, you could have wrote another bar, another paragraph, another whatever. If you read, you could have read a couple more pages, whatever it is, there's always room to improve. And that's the way it should be, because as long as you have something to build on, you got something to work toward, it's beautiful, right? Doing the work is beautiful. And again, you can only understand that when you're running your own race. As long as you're comparing yourself to other people as far as like what they have and what you don't, you're cheating yourself, right? Comparison is important to have like a bar, right? I talked about this on the episode with Lean, right? We spoke about that. To have something to like, okay, yeah, this is where I'm trying to get to. You know, it's beautiful. It's a great thing. You need some kind of like I said, something to shoot for, something to say, all right, cool, I'm on track. But you got to find your purpose first, because if not, you're gonna look around at just anybody that's moving, and that's how you get a lot of people jumping in lanes they don't belong in, right? You look around and you see the content that's moving is like gossip content, right? Gossip, drama, and you not a gossip drama person, but you see the views is over there. You might jump in that lane and you a fish out of water, because it's like, yo, that's not even for you for real. You just doing this shit because you attached to the wrong thing. And you start attaching yourself to the views and the numbers and the engagements, you're gonna get it, you're gonna start doing this shit for the wrong reason. Just being real. Because imagine this, right? We talk about numbers. Imagine if 7 people complimented you on your cologne today, or your outfit, or your perfume, or your shoes, or your hairstyle, whatever. You will be like, yo, I'm out here. I'm touching the people, man. I'm shaking hands and kissing babies and shit like that. because you know that you're making like a real connection in some way that somebody had to stop and tell you something. You know what I mean? It's the same thing online. It's just that because the numbers be so inflated and you see a million over here and 300,000 over there and 80,000 over here and 50,000 from that person, you start to look at your own shit and be like, damn, I only got 100 views on this. That's 100 people. It's 100 people. And let's say out of that 100 people, you know, 14 of them click the like button on your shit. That's 14 people that did not have to do that. Because a lot of times you be scrolling, you might like some shit in your mind and never hit like on it. It's happening all the time. It happens. It's human, dog. People do it. But then imagine from that 13, 14 that click like, imagine 4 of those people sent you a message and said, yo, this is dope. Keep it up. You gonna feel like you on top of the world, dog. Like if we being real. So don't get too caught up in the shit that don't matter, dog. Don't get too caught up in the numbers and oh man, this shit only got 200 views. Homie shit over there got, 2,000 views. You get what I'm saying? Because once you get to that point, it's not even about what you're doing anymore. You just you there for the wrong reasons. You get what I mean? And I didn't want to get caught up in that, just putting episodes out just to put an episode out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it really ain't no excuse, because part of that too is like also being like a perfectionist about it. And being a perfectionist really is some sucker shit. I'm gonna keep it real. And this is me to me. If you relate to it, cool, but I'm not saying that you shouldn't strive to be better. I'm saying being a perfectionist about some shit, you gotta be real with yourself sometimes. It's some sucker shit. I had this conversation with the homies all the time, like, nah, I gotta this ain't right or that ain't right or I ain't got the right. Cool, it don't matter, dog. Just do it. You know what I mean? And your favorite rappers done recorded in bathrooms and basements and you know what I'm saying, cars and whatever. Like they had to because the message is important. It's important. I get it. Like I said, you look around, even when we not talking about the numbers, you look around and you see somebody they got they in this kind of studio. They using this kind of equipment. They got this, man. I can't do it until I get that. Nah. What better way to build with your people than to let your people see you come up? Let your people see you on the come up. Let them see you with this kind of mic first, and then now you got this kind. You done upgraded. Oh shit, I could see the growth. I was right there and I saw it. I remember, I remember when he was recording on these kind of the Apple headphones, the stock joints. Now he got the this kind of microphone and this kind of setup and this kind of production, and this kind of lighting. Like it's beautiful to do that instead of just trying to bring some polished up finished product to people the first time. It's like, nah, that's not even real. Because if you wait that long, you'd have just wasted a lot of time trying to just be perfect when the message was important the whole time. You get what I'm saying? Like you don't wait until you get the chain and the car and the mansion and the all this kind of shit to start telling people your story. Like, no, dog. I want to know the whole story. Let me hear the whole story. When you watching these TV shows and you see like the character development, the way that they've grown, you go back and it's like, damn, season 1 they was on this, now they on that. It's beautiful to see it. Let people see that shit, you know? But I'm grateful for the time that I spent away from it because, you know, it wasn't in vain. It wasn't just sitting back just like, all right, I ain't gonna do it. That's that. Nah, every single day is a lesson. Like my notes app, that shit looking like the Constitution or something, man. Like, it's so much shit in there because there's so much shit up here that I just have to get out. And, this is one of my favorite ways to do it, just to talk to the people, to kick it. And, again, for me, man, if it's 3 or 4 people that can relate to the shit, I did my job. It's beautiful. And one of the things that I do want to talk about, since we here, is the concept of creating out of comfort, right? And I know that most people are familiar with the term like creating out of chaos. But the thing about it is, I think most people create out of chaos. Your favorite artist, your favorite, painter, musician, athletes, whoever, right? They create out of chaos because it's their escape. the chaos comes and then it's like, all right, cool. It's a lot of shit going on. I got to clear my mind. But what happens when your mind is already clear and you already cool? You already chilling. You got to learn how to create out of comfort too. And it might sound like simple, like, yeah, of course I can create when it's comfortable, but not really. Even like I said again, if we keep taking it back to like music, especially rap, a lot of times the music changed when your favorite rapper get rich. You know? They can't rap about the struggle no more. What Eminem said, they said I can't rap about being broke no more. You know? You can't rap about being in the trenches no more and shit. You're not there. So it's like the same thing that was driving you when you were there, the same feeling that you had, you might not have that feeling no more. You can't replicate hunger. It's its own feeling and it deserves that respect. So what you have to start operating out of is desire. Not even discipline, desire. Desire to want to do this, and it all comes from operating in your purpose. You get what I'm saying? It's all tied to operating in your purpose. But just imagine the feeling that you have when you chasing it with like dating. You know what I mean? Think about that. Like when in the courting stage of it, you trying to figure it out and you like, damn, what can I do to man, what can I do to, you know, man, make her day to day? Like, what can I do to, whatever. You trying to figure it out. What can I do to show them that I really care? Yo, you can't lose that. You can't lose that because when you get it, it's more work to keep it, right? The chase is fun. I think people enjoy the chase. But what's gonna happen when you get it? Like the fucking Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner. You know what I'm saying? Go do the knowledge on that. You spent all that time chasing, and then you catch it, and then what? Because you fell so in love with the chase of it that it's like you forgot what you was going to do even when you got it. You know. But as long as you operate within your purpose, it's gonna always be a chase. You always chasing. I need to do this. I need to get this out, no matter what. No matter what the circumstances are. But creating out of comfort is something that people got to get familiar with. I'm pretty sure we all know somebody who, or have been around people, have encountered people that don't know how to handle when things are going good. They only know how to operate when there's tension, when there's arguments going on, when there's like static in the air. They don't know how to operate when it's cool, when it's calm, when there's nothing going on. They don't. It might sound foreign to you if you're just a peaceful person, but there's some people out here who cannot operate when things are going good. They don't know. They're gonna do something to shake it up, something to ruin it, because they feel better in tense situations. Now that might be because of the way they was brought up. It might be just because it's just a personal preference of theirs. There's something inside of them that will not let them have a good day. You couldn't pay them to have a good day. Pretty sure you probably been around people like that. Probably work with them. Probably encounter them in your real life. They might be in your family. And if they knew how to create out of comfort, how to exist when things are still, they'd be much better off. They'll find that it's way better on this side. You get what I'm saying? So that's another thing too, where it's like, the desire to do it for some people is rooted in like money. Like, sure, we all want to make money and it'd be beautiful to make money off the things that you love. But if you get into it for that, you already chasing the wrong thing. Cause you letting the universe know that you would do anything for that money. Anything. Cause that's your purpose is the money. But if you change your purpose to helping people, it's gonna put you in much better situations and the money gonna come. But you can't look at it that way though. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't get up here and sit down and turn this on and turn these lights on and plug this mic up because I think it's a dollar sign attached at the end of this episode. Like, no, it's because I do want to get this out and I do want to talk to the people. And I feel so accomplished when I put these episodes out and somebody is like hyped to hear it. And then that same person that was hyped to hear it lets me know when they got done listening to it and said, that shit was worth it. That shit helped me. It makes me feel like, yeah, you know, I'm very appreciative of the people that tune into my show because it's like, dog, you ain't have to click on my shit. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate it all. In 2025, like I said, it just taught me it just taught me a lot, man. Like I'm always grateful and present, right? But 2025 really just like focused in on that a little bit more, where it's like I'm just in the moment. You know, I'm in the moment. I'm here. I'm trying not to, you know, let anxiety dictate my next step or, get me out of my square. I've been going to the gym more. You feel me? If you could tell and shit, but the gym will help you too. And you don't have to necessarily get up and like go like to the gym, but working out, movement, being outside, getting some air, just moving. It's gonna help you. It's gonna help you tremendously, man. You know what I'm saying? Also, I mean, shit. If you ain't trying to be around here old with the hunchback and all this kind of shit, and you gotta shuffle your feet, you can't really move how you want to when you get older. You gotta move. You got to, man. I love when I'm out and I see people that's much older and they still moving. They still fluid, you know? I love to see it. It's one of my favorite things to see, man, because it lets you know that, those commercials they were showing us when we was kids, they played us. They just made it seem like as soon as you get, 35, 40 years old, it's raps. And it can be. If you don't do shit, it can be. So by the time you get somebody here 60 or 70, first thing they think about is like, damn, man, I'm gonna have a cane, I'm gonna have this, I'm gonna do this. You don't have to. You don't have to, man. If you get up, you move around, you stay active, you keep the right mindset, man, you could be all right, man. This shit can be lit for you, truthfully. And that's one of those things that you just gotta it take time to really sit back and understand that and learn that, you know? But the central point of creating out of comfort is you have to learn how to do that because shit ain't gonna always be chaotic for you. You know, you keep on rapping about, man, when I get this money, or man, yo, this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, or I'm trying to chase this paper, I'm trying to run it up. So what's gonna happen when you get it all? If you got $10 billion a day, you gonna start rapping? You understand? So then, like, that might not have been. You might not feel like your purpose is fulfilled right now because you don't have the money. But when you get it, then what? Does the message not matter anymore? Because for me, it's like shit. If some platform call right now with a deal, yo, we're gonna do this, we're gonna pay you X amount of money, here you go. It's just gonna turn it up even more because like I already want to do it, but that's gonna turn it up because it might create the need, or I should say, it might make me less needy on other sources of income, right? So it's like, I bet I can do this, I can take time, I can put more time into this than I'm putting into this thing over here. Right. And that's for all, creators or whatever, right? Whether you do, Uber, whether you entrepreneur, whether you 9 to 5, whatever it is, if your income was directly tied to the thing that you love to do, it'd be beautiful for you. Cause now you can focus on this instead of, the thing that's kind of taking you away from it. Cause we all got like real lives to live, as well. So it's like getting up, going to work, you know, having to punch that clock, you going to school, whatever it is, like you got to do what you got to do. And that's another thing I want to talk about. I'm freestyling really, you know what I mean? Because I just want to sit down and really talk to y'all and kick it this episode. Another thing I want to talk about is giving yourself more credit, right? Like you got some people who, you get up every day, you go to work, you pay your bills, and you might sit around and feel like what you doing ain't enough because social media then made you, aware that there's people out here who got way more money. You know what I'm saying? They got way more, pairs of shoes than you, or way more this, way more that. So it make you feel like you ain't doing enough. I promise you doing enough. You doing the most. You getting up, going to a job that you probably would rather not work, listening to people who you rather not listen to, and you doing it because you understand that it's what you have to do. So the discipline is there. You get what I'm saying? You understand the bigger picture of the shit. You got to give yourself more credit. I think a lot of us come from places where this shit didn't have to happen. Like I said, I'm recording this before my birthday. I'm about to turn 38. It's not a lot of people that I grew up with that got a chance to see that or see 28 or 30, or 24, like even. So when you come from these environments, you don't necessarily have to be like the person that's in the streets doing it, the person whose name is known, whose face is known, who had this going on, got that going on. You don't have to be that person, dog. Shit happen to, civilians all the time, innocent bystanders all the time. So coming from these environments, like I'm born and raised Detroit, Michigan. A lot of shit go on every day there, all day, every day. It's not promised that just because you went to school and stayed out the way and, whatever, that you was going to make it. It just wasn't promised. I think that it's easy to look at somebody who lived a certain life and be like, you know, well, yeah, well, you wasn't in it, so of course you good. But it's like how many times you ever, you look on the news or you read these articles and something happened to somebody because of something their brother did or there's something their cousin did or something that happened on their block or just whatever. They just catch a random shot somewhere. So it's like you extremely blessed, right? I don't like saying lucky. You extremely blessed to still be here. Just period. And we all come from shit. And I'm not saying that, the streets is the only way to build character. I'm saying if you come from a household that wasn't the best, a family that wasn't the best, you know what I'm saying? And you had to navigate through that as a kid and through your teenage years, and now you're an adult and you still probably working through some of that shit, some of that trauma and some of that pain and shit. Give yourself more credit for showing up every day. You don't woke up every day. You up today. If you listening to this shit, you up today, you know, all the way up. And that's another thing I get when I look at older people, much older people, is like, dog, since the day you was born, bro, you've been waking up every single day. Every single day. You ain't miss a day. And I know that because I'm looking at you right now and you here right now. You existing right now in this moment. You woke up every single day, including today. So you got to give yourself more credit. And I'm talking to you that's listening to this right now, that's watching this right now. Give yourself more credit. You don't woke up every day. You done showed up. You here. And so I know it's easy to get caught up in like the things that you're chasing and what you don't have yet. And, damn, I'm working towards this. But you got to change your perspective on that. I think a lot of people need to change their perspective on losing too. You got to fix your perspective on losing. I'm not saying that you wake up and you go out there to, if you're an athlete, I ain't saying you going out there to lose. I mean, shit, hey, these dudes gambling, so I can't speak for everybody, but some of them are going out there understanding what's on the line and shit. They gambling. You know what I mean? We done seen it. We done seen the news. But the more important part of this though is like, the way you view losing, right? You look at somebody who is showing up, doing the work. They, they putting their content out, or whatever it is that they doing. You looking at it saying, and you judging by your metric and saying that person is losing because it's not living up to what you think is successful. But in reality, the person that's losing is the one that's sitting back looking like, man, that person ain't do this. Yeah, I ain't gonna do it either. That's what losing looks like. It's not trying. The person that tried and failed is not a loser to me. The person that sits back on the sideline, never tries anything, but criticizes everything, that's the loser. That's the person I don't want to be. That's the person I don't want to hang around, nothing, because that energy is just, it's disgusting. Because, it's like athletes, right? You sit back and you look at, you know, you watch certain games or you watch a team lose the championship and they go out there and, they dap it up and they hug the other, and they telling them, dog, yo, you did your thing. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. And they showing love because it's like, dog, I know what it took for you to get up today, to get ready for this game, to come out here and play, to give it your all. And if you lost, you lost. But that don't make you're not a loser. You're not a loser. You came out here to try. You a fucking warrior. You got to look at yourself the same way. You can't sit up here and say like, you a loser because this didn't go your way. You a loser because that didn't go your way. Did you try? Did you show up? Did you do the work? If you can check all those boxes, then you're not a loser. You understand what I'm saying? And even the winners, even like I said again, we want to keep representing sports. Even the winners, it's disrespectful to Jordan's legacy to say that 6-0 in the finals is the reason why he's the greatest. It's because he lost a lot before that and then figured it out and put it together and applied those lessons he learned in the losses and made wins out of them. Same thing with LeBron. I ain't gonna kill LeBron for having a losing record in the finals. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was pulling up. Like again, if we when we want to have just like a basketball conversation, we can talk the numbers and all that, and that's cool. But I'm just talking about overall your relationship with losing, your perspective on losing needs to change because I'm not gonna look at you as a loser because you took an L. It's how you bounce back from it, it's what you learn from it that dictates who you are after that. You get to control that, not somebody else who's keeping score on some shit that they don't even know nothing about. You know how a lot of times you see a dude, um, go out there or you see like just an athlete from any form. It could be tennis, the WNBA, it could be football, whatever it is. You see somebody go out there, they might have had a bad game, a bad season, and then you hear a story at the end of the year about how they was going through personal things and family issues and this wasn't right, their health wasn't this. Now you look back at that season a different way and you say, damn, they was going through all of that and they showed up. Wow. And now you got a different perspective. So you have to understand that when you looking at people, you don't know their story. You don't know what it took for that person to show up this day right now in this moment. You don't know. You know what I'm saying? Even if you have an idea, you don't really know. But look at yourself. How many times have you showed up when you didn't feel your best? You had to go up there to the school to go do this event. You had to go or take your kid to go do this and all those appointments that you had to go keep. And I got to pull up on this night to do this. Somebody might see you and be like, "Man, that motherfucker's in a great mood," or it was good. They don't know what you going through, or what you battling, or what it took for you to get up and to be there. They don't. So you got to give people that same grace, man. And that's kind of one of those things that I'm big on is because like the older I get, especially being a man, specifically being a black man, I used to read energy a different way, right? I'm walking down the hall and, somebody walking down the hall as well. And it's like, if you feel the need that like you need to, I need to just be in the middle of the hall. I need to just let you know this my shit right now. I feel terrible for people that feel like they need that to like make their day go well. You know what I'm saying? I feel terrible for people who feel like they need to mean mug and, have like this low vibrational energy and shit to like assert some type of, dominance or like some kind of, like ooh, put some fear around and shit. And it's like, dog, I feel terrible for you. Cause that's the same way that like the animals and shit, they trying to go, rescue and all that. And it's like, dog, they scared. Most of the time these motherfuckers be scared. They going through something, they battling something. And I feel bad for them. And I'm not saying that to be funny. I feel bad for them in a real way because I'm like, damn, man, I wish you knew you didn't have to do that. Or I wish whatever you went through that made you feel like you need to do it, I wish you didn't go through that. I wish that this can be fixed. And hopefully you're doing the work. You know what I'm saying? And when you start to do the work, you can start to recognize people that's doing the work as well. You know what I'm saying? But again, man, I greatly appreciate all the people who tune into the show, man. I really do. This the reason why I do it. It's not I'm not so caught up in the numbers and the views and the downloads and this, that, and the third, because to be honest, that shit don't matter. You know? If one person listened to this and it changed their perspective and I gave them something that they could take with them and, use moving forward, then job well done, mission accomplished. You get what I'm saying? It's just one of those situations, man, where it's like you can tell the people that's attached to the outcome that they can't control. You can always see it. You start to see people moving a certain type of way. You start to see them, even like talking a certain type of way, using certain type of words that they know are like buzzwords and shit. And it's like, come on, dog, you ain't got to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like them views ain't that important. All them views ain't even good views anyway, man. You got people that's gonna watch this shit just to hate. It's gonna be somebody that's gonna watch this shit just to dissect how whack this shit is or why they don't like it, why it's trash, whatever. So just do it because you want to do it. Do it because you living in your purpose. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like shit'll work out for the best for you that way. You know what I mean? But yeah, like I said, I just want to get up here and kick it with y'all, man. You know what I mean? It felt good to sit up here and like, really record again. And again, Tune in, man. Keep tapping in with me. We definitely gonna up it this year. The output gonna be up there this year. You're not just gonna get an episode now and an episode in fucking November or some shit. You know what I mean? Like we back recording on the regular. You know, I think I'm finally in a space to where I'm like really like, okay, yeah, I got it. You know what I mean? I got it. I got a good flow. And I just enjoy talking to y'all, you know? And so you know, keep interacting with me, interacting with producer Bethany. Like I said, tap in with the YouTube channel, B is for Boundaries. You know what I mean? We got some stuff we cooking up. Soon. Y'all gonna get that soon. Very soon. You know, we still in the stages of developing it and stuff like that. But it's beautiful, man. The thing that we got coming is beautiful. So, you know, in the meantime, between time, man, you know, follow me on Instagram at Mariano Bivens. You know, on Twitter. I'm still calling it Twitter. I'm not calling it the other shit. At Mariano, two N's, two O's. And yeah, man, till next time, dog, you know. Subscribe, you know, obviously. Comment, let me know, you know, how you enjoying the show. Let me know your favorites, questions, comments, concerns, all for the love show at gmail.com. Yeah, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell somebody else, man. You know, we out.